Hello guys, so today I'm going to talk about faithfulness versus perfection. So God requires us to be faithful with a pure heart. We don't have to be perfect. We're all sinners and fall short of the glory of God. We all stumble. He's not looking for perfection. The only one who's perfect is Jesus Christ. He's looking for our hearts, our faithfulness, our good intentions to serve him, to glorify him, to walk in his ways, to acknowledge him, trust him. He's looking at our hearts. He wants us to have a holy heart, a pure heart like his. Even though we stumble, we ask for forgiveness. We quote that verse, 1 John 1:9. If we sin, he's faithful and just to forgive us our sins. If we confess our sins, he's faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So, of course, we don't have to live a perfect life. We're perfect in Jesus, but, this life right now we're living in is still sinful. So you're going to stumble, but, Jesus will get you through it. But he's looking for our faith. Like David was after God's own heart. He was after his heart, not, just his like Paul. He counted everything lost to know the knowledge of God, of Jesus' resurrection. He counts everything rubbish. That doesn't mean anything. He just wants to know God. God requires faithfulness. Even though we are sometimes faithless, he remains faithful. He's the truth. But we have to be faithful and not if we fall, get back up. He wants us to pursue peace and holiness with people and love our neighbors. He wants us to follow his commandments. Love thy God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbors as yourself. He wants us to live a godly life. Even though he knows that, it's hard, he's with us. That's why he came and got in flesh, and he went through all those pain and sufferings, the things that we go through. So we know that we could get through it because he did. He did it for us. He died for us, and he rose again the third day. Now he conquered the death. But perfection it's like a hassle. You're never gonna be perfect. You can always try to do a lot of good, but you can't reach your heart. Your heart is evil and wicked. Your intention, your mind, your like anger, like all those things, like that's deep down in your heart. It's you need Jesus. You can't do that yourself. You can't be perfect in this evil, wicked, sinful world, because we're born in sin. Adam and Eve, look at that. They were like, before they sinned, guess what? They were perfect. They had everything, but they sinned. Now now they have to pay consequences. We have to pay consequences for our sin. So it's not about perfection. It's about faithfulness. Without faith, you're not going to please God. Without holiness, you're not going to please God. God is pleased by your faith out of a pure heart. Be humble too, like the fruits of the Spirit. Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 through 23. For the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control, faithfulness, and long-suffering. So he wants us to have the fruit of the Spirit. He wants us to be faithful. He wants us to worship him. He wants us, when we have problems, he wants us to come to him with a pure and humble heart and ask for forgiveness, not be prideful, not thinking down on others. He wants us to be just like him. Imitate Jesus Christ, imitate him. He'll get us through it. Like I said, perfection is trying to live up to something that you can't live up to because you don't know how much you need, like how good you have to be. Like perfection is going to give you anxiety. It's going to give you worriness, because when you fall short one time, then what? Then how's that? You're not, no matter what, you try to be perfect, you try to be good again, and then you fall short again. You're going to keep falling short. You need Jesus to get you through these problems and hardships. There's no perfection. It's only about faithfulness in Jesus Christ, for what he has done for us, to live a godly life, to serve him, to honor him, to help others, to do what's right. Just believe, have faith. It's all about your pure heart. Check your heart, see if it's right with God. God sees your heart. He doesn't see your he doesn't see nothing besides your heart, your appearance, everything else. He sees your heart. He doesn't see, things that you try to do to live up to things. Like the Pharisees were acting selfish, and they were trying to be like, do by works, do this, live by this law, but they couldn't see. The Pharisees didn't realize they had an evil, wicked heart, and Jesus saw that. So it's not about trying to be perfect. It's not about what kind of works you do. It's not about trying to live up to the perfectionists. It's about Jesus. He loves you. He wants you. Of course, when you show your faith by doing good works, but it's not about works. It's about all faith. This is grace that saves us, not by works. So it's so, just realize that he wants our hearts. He wants us to have a true intention into what he called us to do. He wants us to have a true intention on who we acknowledge and who we serve. He wants us to focus on him. Trust him with all your heart. Do not lean onto your own understanding, but on all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. So it's about trust, faith. It's so important to realize that, without faith, you can't do anything, like you just can't, we're all sinners and all fall short of the glory of God, but God's looking at our hearts. Be faithful to the end, endure to the end, persevere to the end. Don't think that you're all that, because you're going to fall down. God will humble you, God will humble you. It's not about you. It's about Jesus Christ and what he has done for us, and that he loves us so much. He forgave us for all our sins, knowing that we're not perfect, but yet he still died for us as we was continuing to do sin, and still love us. And people who have faith in him, accept him, will live forever in eternity with him in heaven. So just realize that. Don't try to live up to perfection. It's going to lead you down. It's going to lead you backwards, not forwards, because you never could do enough to receive God. It's all about his grace. We can't do enough works to receive the truth and holiness, and nothing we could do to earn that. We can't earn God's love and grace. It's all given it's all given freely to us. Just remember that. It's all given to us because he loves us. There's nothing we could do. There's nothing. We can't be perfect. No matter how hard you try, you're going to always fall short. But with Jesus is victory. Remember that. Accept Jesus with a pure heart and you'll be saved.